Well, hi, it's Grandma Roseanne, and I think it is an absolutely perfect day to make ground beef, tomato, macaroni, and cheese. Now, I don't know about you, but this is one of my all-time favorites. And if you are budget friendly, this works. If you have children and you've got that one who's a picky eater, this works. And it's an easy weeknight dinner. So the very first thing I did is I got 8 ounces of noodles. Now, use whatever you want. Macaroni is I probably more generally used, but I use some panini because I like it. And I like it that it has the little holes in it, so it sucks up the juice and the sauce, and it's just delicious. And so I cooked this, and this is important because you don't want to overcook it. I cooked it, I brought it to a boil, the water to a boil, salted water, and threw it in about 8 ounces of pasta and only cooked it for 5 minutes because you're going to bake this and you don't want the noodles to turn to mush. Now, I took them out, drained them, rinsed them, and I reserved the water because we're going to use that as well. Now, in my skillet, I'm going to put in, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon of oil. Let that heat up a little bit. And then probably 1 small onion or a cup of onion would be about what I was using. That can go in. All right, can you see how my onions have gotten translucent? They're softened. They're starting to golden a little bit. So now I'm going to I'm adding 3 cloves of garlic that has been chopped, minced. Now, depending on the size of your garlic, you might use 2, you might use 4. Mine were kind of medium, so I'm using 3. And what I have done is I put it in the middle of the skillet, just like this, and as soon as it becomes fragrant, then I will mix it into the onions. It only takes about 30-45 seconds for that to happen. This is such a quick recipe. All right, now we can just mix it all together so the garlic is evenly distributed. Now to my onions and garlic, I'm going to add about 1.5 pounds of ground beef. And you can do whatever you want here. If you want to add a little bit more, that's fine. If you're kind of, budget friendly and you need to shorten that up a little bit, you can. And we're going to start to brown this. Okay, now this is starting to brown very nicely. So we're going to add all of the seasoning. And boy, is there a lot of it. Hold on, let me grab it because I already portioned it out. Now, all of the ingredients are going to be in the description, so don't worry about having to write them down. Here, I have 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of smoked Spanish paprika, and 1 teaspoon of mustard, dried mustard. Now, you probably have all of this in your cabinet. Most people may not have this. This is Coleman's dried mustard. So if you don't have that, you might want to pick it up, but if you don't have it and you want to make it without that, I think that's okay too. Just gonna mix these kind of together with the back of my spoon, back of my spatula, because I don't seem to have a fork here to do this with. There, okay. Now we're just going to evenly distribute this onto the meat. Mix it in so that it's well combined. Oh, you can start smelling it now. Woo, delicious. Now you want this well minced. So just break it all up. And I think this step is very important, I really do. So take your time here, make sure it's minced and very finely chopped in there. As this is cooking, I'm adding just a few drops like that. I don't know how much that is, of Worcestershire sauce. And a couple of drops of Sriracha. Not too much. And let's mix that in. All right, all of the pink is out. The aroma from this is amazing, you guys. You're gonna love this. So the pink is out, and what I'm going to do now is I'm gonna move over to my sink for a moment, and I'm going to drain. I wanna get the fat out of it. We don't need the fat in there. Okay, we are well drained, and now I'm going to put in some tomato paste. I just made a hole in the center. I'm gonna put the paste in there, probably about a tablespoon. And we're going to cook this down for a few minutes. I just like to get that raw taste out of the paste and then mix that in really well. To this, I'm going to add 8 ounces of tomato sauce. And we will mix that in and cook that down for a few minutes. Now I'm going to add those noodles that we already cooked and get that mixed in real well. Now I want you to notice how really thick this is. Can you see that? It's really, really thick. It's going to go into an oven for 30 minutes. So we need to have moisture in here so that it'll all cook through, all the flavors will blend, and we want to have enough liquid. That's why we saved some of this starch water so that we could use that. So I'm just going to ladle one in and see how I think that looks. Kind of use your own judgment here. If it looks too tight, add a little bit more. It will absorb, I promise you. I'm going to add probably another half a ladle. That, I think, looks good. It's soupy, okay? Not totally runny, but soupy. Do you see how it falls now compared to when we did it the first time? This is a childhood recipe, you guys. I love this. And I made it for my boys when they were growing up, and oh, we always loved it. This is one of those meals that you can make ahead. Get it ready. When you come home from that football game, that track practice, that basketball match, whatever it is that you're going to with those kids, pop it in the oven, and in 30 minutes, you have got an outrageously nutritious and delicious casserole for them. All righty. Moving on to the next step. We're almost done. Don't be impatient. You saw me add a little bit more starch water. After I added the cheese, I just put a couple of handfuls of cheese in there. I'm not really sure how much. But then it absorbed again, so I add a little bit more starch water. Now, I have a casserole dish here, which I have buttered. And I'm just going to pour everything. Well, that was hot. Going to pour everything right in. I am using, I don't know if I told you before, I'm using a mild cheddar, no, a medium cheddar here. I'm sure you can use whatever you want. It's your casserole. I think I need a little bit more cheese. Well, I lied because I just looked at my package here, and it's not a mild or a medium, it's a sharp cheddar. All righty. Get my act together here so I don't give you wrong information. I have my oven set at 350. I'm going to put foil over the top of this, seal it in quite nicely. It's going to go in the oven for 30 minutes, and then I'm going to take the top off. I'm going to take the foil off, and then it's just going to stay in there probably another 10 minutes until the cheese on top gets brown and bubbly and gooey and ever so delicious. So I will be back in 40 minutes. All right, this is it. This is our masterpiece. Absolutely delicious. I know it's going to be. So, time for the taste test. You have to let this sit for a little while, like maybe 10 minutes, because you want that cheese to kind of harden up a little bit. And then you are ready for that massive, wonderful taste. Oh, look at that. How nice that's set up. Okay, let's see what we have accomplished. The cheese is nice and crusty. Oh. That is excellent. Really, really good. And the pasta is cooked to perfection. So be sure you don't cook it longer than 5 minutes when you boil it to parboil. Now, somebody asked me where the ingredients were, and in the description box, right under the description box, you'll see a little word that says more. Just tap that and the ingredients will come up on the side of your screen. If you enjoyed the recipe, please subscribe, hit the little bell so you'll know when we come back. All of the ingredients will be listed below, so you'll have those. And if you want to share the video with a friend, that would be wonderful as well. Now we are going to have a wonderful dinner, but one thing I want to add is that I am going to, I think you know I cook for one, right? So this is a huge amount, but I'm going to portion it, I'm going to freeze it, and then whenever I want this casserole again, very quickly, is just defrost it, pop it in the oven, and I have got a great meal and no effort involved. So thank you so much for coming. You are wonderful to come and share time with me. I love spending time with you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we are going to go have dinner. Bye.